Well, hi, I'm Not Yet Dead, and welcome back to Riverside Farms. So, well, we're here again. Sorry, yes, it's Angry Mill Grains. The price had started to drop yesterday, and then, well, magically it went up again. So it's still the best price for our sorghum. As you can see, as I kind of suspected towards the end of the last episode, we didn't have quite as much left as I thought we might, but let's face it, that's another nearly 70,000. We'd already done 58 and 250. So I'd say, I mean, it is nearly 400,000 litres. I'd say that's pretty good going, really. That's pretty good. This is an awful piece of parking. Anyway, there we go. But yeah, so as I said at the end of the last episode, we have now finished the sorghum harvest. The combine is ready at some point. We'll head over and harvest our new field. Oh, there you go. We've just finished a contract on field 66. I'd done fields, oh grief, I don't know. What had I done? We've done fields 64 and 63. I also did field 68. So yeah, we've just done 66, which is just this little one here. 67 was, hopefully still is, also up for cultivation. So that'll be a good one for us to do. But yeah, so we've got, I mean, this, might be our last day here on Riverside. It might not be. You'll know that by now. I don't. Okay. But yeah, so we've got fields 49, 62, the ones that we combined to harvest. We have got our compost down at the biogas plant to unload it and sell from its silo, and we've got field 30 to convert into a whole bunch of nice silage bales, and we have got quite a large amount of milk to sell. I've sold 1 trailer's full of wool. It's, I think, about half full again, so I think 1 more load of wool will probably be enough. But yeah, so a few bits to finish off. We'll keep going with the contracting as well. And actually, so I suppose while we're here, let's sort that out, collect that. 67, perfect. Accept. Right, so we'll pop over there in a minute. In the meantime, let's take this to the biogas plant. Let's check on the status of the compost, and we'll take it from there. Where is the way out? There it is. Okay, brought the truck over. How are we doing? 97%. Oh, so close. As you can see, I bought us a variety of belts over. First 2 are set up. Also got the other truck down here and the extension belt should we will need it. I also brought down, because I needed to dry those down anyway, so I brought the tractor over with the old milling machine in case we need to speed up the operation. And frankly, if I have nothing else to do, I'm sitting around with nothing to do, may as well do that. Just got a notification that there's no more space for wool over at the sheep. That's because of the rather awkward way that I've parked the trailer so it's ready to load. So I will nip back and load it with whatever's there, and do that, and then we'll see what we do next. Well, that was rather amusing. There had been no wool appeared. I'd managed to position the trailer perfectly so there was no space for any wool to come out. So I've just moved it a little bit. We'll see whether that was sufficient. Now, which of these, it was field 67 we were doing, right? Yeah, okay. Is that the one to our right or the one in front of us? It's the one in front of us. Okay, fine. So that's this slightly bigger one just here. So we'll get a little bit of this done, get started. I am going to work on the assumption that I'll manage to get most of this stuff done today, and that this will be the last episode. And therefore, I'm going to be a little bit jumpy aroundy, if you see what I mean. But I'm going to show, because I don't want the video to be too long. Equally, it's the last one, right? So I don't mind it being a little bit longer than perhaps it might normally be. There, they have been getting quite long, these videos. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. So I'll just do snippets here and there. I mean, this is, to be honest, anyway, a sort of an aside almost to the main gig of the day, or gigs even, which is to harvest. Actually, coincidentally, that field just to our left, right there, is our millet. And there it is. So we'll go start on the harvest on that in a minute while we're waiting for the compost to finish, and of course the corn baling. Yeah, I kind of feel I might be being a little bit optimistic trying to get all of this done in one go, but let's see how we do. But rather than me wasting screen time doing cultivating, I just thought it'd be nice to see another different field. It's nice to be getting out and around the map a little bit more. I say, you know, there's quite a lot of fields around here, hopefully, that will still need cultivating, and I'll just keep moving the tractor slowly around this bottom edge of the map. Now that this is our fourth field, right down in this bottom corner, bottom edge, I suppose, 68 right in the far corner, now over to our right, which is the one I did yesterday evening. But yeah, so it's quite nice. Spending a bit of time in some other fields. But anyway, right, so let me get a work on this, and how about we go start that harvest. So here we are, our millet field. Right, so let's probably tidy this sort of entrance area up a little bit, but let's just pull over here anyway, try and get the header in the right place. Where's a good place? Well, let's just put it there for a minute. So disconnect. There we go. Got space to turn. I forgot to mention actually, so money's gone up again. We had £368,000 from the biogas plant again last night, so that was pretty good going. And that's not brilliant, is it? But never mind. Right, so let's fold that nicely away. Let us unfold the combine, come out so we can see what's going on. Yeah, I also sold, I can't remember if I did it on screen, but I've also sold field 13. I think I did it at the end of the last episode. And I've also sold a few more pieces of equipment. So, and of course I returned all the potato harvesting stuff, but I leased lots and lots going on, which is expected. So yeah, let's get this started. Been looking forward to doing this. So now we get on our new field. Ooh, missed a bit during seeding. Get ourselves a nice couple of headlands in all the way around. Of course, we will also need, I seem to remember, though I don't remember distinctly off the top of my head, but I seem to remember the millet yield isn't huge. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But we will need the trailer at some point. I can't imagine that we'll get the whole field done in one, in one harvester tank full. But we'll see how we do. Yes, one of our jobs for the day. Kind of think it won't be too long before that compost is ready, because obviously emptying it with the that's going to be a little bit tricky. We might get hit some trees. Be a little bit careful. Yeah, emptying it with the conveyors. There you go. Told you. Emptying it with the conveyors may be a little slow. But you know what? If we don't quite squeeze it into an episode, and I need to do 2 minutes for the last sell-off of the last compost tomorrow morning or something, then fine. And I don't know, maybe we'll find out there's just too much stuff to do and we'll need to do it over 2 slightly shorter episodes instead of one long one. I don't know. You know that better than I do at this point in time. Yeah, we'll just see how we get on. But yeah, we're definitely going to need a truck, aren't we? And in pretty short order, I think. I'm not even sure. Well, actually, no. It's not a question of not being sure. I know already we aren't going to be able to do a headland of the whole field. Nice that we're right next to the field where the tractor's working, cultivating. That's really cool. Yeah, we're not going to be able to even do one lap of the field, I don't think. I suppose we might. No, we won't. But yeah, so I'll go, it's fine. I'll go grab the other truck that I haven't yet lined up right underneath the conveyor belt for the compost. By midday-ish, I'm expecting that we'll be able to get that started. So I don't, maybe I'll just slow it down. You know, there's going to be, what, at least 6 truckloads of compost to do. So, you know, I'm not going to show every single one of those being done on screen, because that would just be a bit dull. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. And of course, we'll sell off the fields, we'll sell off the milk, we'll sell off the wool. Yeah, maybe a short episode tomorrow morning is going to be the way to go. There's a lot to do. But yeah, I've enjoyed my time on here. And actually, I'm really glad that I started doing some contracting. I'm still highly sceptical as to whether or not actually something's just gone wrong with the trophy system, and I'm never going to get those 3 trophies. I just cannot see how I haven't sowed whatever it is, 100 hectares or whatever, given that I've cultivated and harvested that quantity. I can't see how I wouldn't have sowed that quantity. I suppose, to be fair, when I'm doing contracts, I'll normally do fertilizing, cultivating, and harvesting as against seeding, but clearly I haven't done that many contracts because I haven't got either of the contract trophies either. So yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? You reap what you sow, so as they say, you know. So how can I have reaped more than I've sown overall? And I did the sowing one yonks ago, so it just doesn't make sense. Who knows? Oh, we're nearly full. Crikey, truck time. There we go, just enough room to squeeze around. We're climbing from the other side. Actually, no, should be right. Should be far enough away. Yes. Switch those off. Sorry, forgot. Thinking I can inch forward because I wasn't quite full anyway, and just take some of this to. I put a worker on it, thinking I'll leave the worker to run across the end of the field while I go get the truck, and of course the angle's not right, so he immediately started driving off. I was like, okay, never mind then. I'll just do it myself, shall I? Excellent. Yeah, so that actually means there might be quite a bit of manual intervention required on this field. I feel yeah, might need to do a fair amount of it, but a couple of headlands, maybe it won't be so bad. I'm thinking I might just go back to doing a couple of split episodes across the day, rather than going over. I can always change the time down a little bit just to give us a little bit more time, and maybe do that, rather than packing too much in, rushing it too much. Once the compost is ready, we'll take the time down ×1, and we'll use that time to you know, focus on getting the compost sold and doing the corn bales, and in the meantime we'll get this millet harvested. I think that seems a better way, rather than either A, trying to squeeze it all into one, which would just be too stressful and too rushed, or B, running over into a second day. We'll just go back to, you know, half days. Equally, I'm still not, you know, there might be shorter episodes. The compost, I'm not going to sell too much of selling the compost, because that's actually going to be a really dull process. And I say I'll use a bit of my time if I've got some free time to speed up the loading, but otherwise it's just going to be driving around. And of course we'll keep our class over there. Look, there he is, going up and down the field. Keep him busy on the cultivating, try and get as many jobs as we can. Equally, you know, I am rushing, if you like, not rushing, but I'm keen to try and complete these trophies, but I'm not stopping playing 19. As I've talked about before, I am going to keep going on Spectacle Island on my sort of vlog series, because I need to, once I've finished on here, I'm going to get back onto that that map, I've been focusing on Riverside, knowing that I wanted to get it done before 22 comes out. And so I'll have a chance to do contracting on there. And equally, I'll be carrying on No Man's Land. So, you know, I'm not done with 19, but it just would have been nice to have got some of this stuff done out of the way. And this was an ideal opportunity to try and get my contracting medals. But I can't believe I still don't have the first one, let alone then double that and do it again to get 100. I don't know, I don't get it. But anyway, it's fine. It's not that big a deal. It's just if there's one game that I ought to be able to get all of the medals on, it's farming, right? A, because I play it so much, and B, because, you know, they're not impossible things to attain. It's a matter of time, not skill, right? I don't expect that on some of the shooting games that I play that I'll be able to get, you know, one-shot kill by shooting someone in the head or through the eye or whatever it is, or getting 5 kills at once by throwing a grenade. You know, these kinds of things, they require a certain amount of skill and an element of luck. Completing 50 50 contracts or harvesting 100 acres or whatever it is, or seeding 100 acres, it's not an element of skill, it's an element of planning and time. And I'm quite surprised that over the 3 years I haven't done all that already, which does make me think maybe there is just something wrong. So I won't shoot myself too much, to push, you know, beat myself too hard if I don't make it, because I'm sure there's something weird. And there's no counter anywhere, there's nowhere to tell me how I'm getting on, right? A bit weird. Anyway, I don't think there is. Is there? Maybe in the main menu, perhaps there is. I'll have a look. But hey. But yeah, so nearly twice around the headland. Yeah, we're not going to get a bad yield. It's only going to be, I don't know what, 60,000 litres maybe. But, you know, we'll have a quick look at prices in a minute and see how we do it. So as we do our second unload, let's just take a look at prices. Ooh, it's that third one from the end, right? So they're not amazingly high, actually. We got 771 at Angry Grains, 685 at the farm shop. That's not bad. 628 at Lily's Grains. That's pretty good. Chips Agri 654. Ooh, and dropping though. That would have been good. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, they're not, you know, blow me away kind of prices, are they, exactly? But not to worry. It's not really while we're here. Right? It's a nice to have, not the be all and end all. Not in this case. But I was just thinking, I really love the shape of this field. It's actually a really cool field. I'm actually really pleased with it. It's a good connection. Linking it together, taking those trees out, taking out the grass. And I mean, if you did have a cows, you know, you did this with this field, you could even like link it into the next field and make the whole thing a grass pasture. You know, you would not be short of grass for a pretty big cow operation or something like that, right? So anyway, in the interest of not taking up too much time on the video, I'll complete the whole headland all the way around a couple of times, and I'll try and find a suitable line to set a worker on, which I think actually will probably be starting on that edge and going up and down. Actually, no, it won't be, will it? I think we may have to do what I did with seeding it and sort of treat it in 2 parts. Just because of the shape of the field, much something else. In fact, actually, this corner is probably the place to start, but it's fine. I'll still keep carrying around just to make sure there's enough turning space. But yeah, actually you could, yeah, it'd be quite fun to take out these trees. A couple of them would require a certain amount of manual work because they're not pines, but I suppose with the magic tree shredder that we used, that would do it nicely. So actually, you know what? The thing to do would be at the right point in time, go straight across the bit that we've already done, catch the very edge of that bit we've done. This will be our straight-ish line and carry straight on down the field. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to keep playing, I'd retexture that corner a little bit. Yeah, I wasn't slightly off on the line that I needed, but it wasn't too bad. Worker should catch that on his way back. But I'll stick with him for a minute just to make sure, because I want him to go to the right first, not to the left. And he's got every chance that he'll go in both, you know, he could go either direction. So, field 67 is finished, and indeed, as has our worker, as he comes back up the far side of the field. There we go. Right. Oh no, helps if you switch it on, doesn't it? So we'll get our tractor on another field, cultivating, and I pressed the worker button twice. Dope. Yeah, we'll get our tractor on another contract, and we'll go over and see how that compost is doing. Right. So fingers crossed, decision is made. We're going to finish the millet harvest in this episode, and then when the compost eventually finishes, I'm going to turn time down to ×1, and we'll spend the afternoon selling the compost and doing the corn or the corn chaff bales, and hopefully we'll have enough time to do all that in the next episode. That said, I did actually put time up to ×15 briefly just to see, and it didn't move a percentage. Now, by my reckoning, at least every 1.5 hours of game time, the compost should ferment by 1%. Doesn't seem to be the case, which worries me a little bit. But either way, it should finish this afternoon, and early afternoon, I would have thought. I don't know, so my plan may not work. If it gets too late to the afternoon and the compost still isn't done, then I think we will probably should lift that up, really. Then I think I'll skip to the next day, and we'll actually sort of do another morning rather than an afternoon for the next video. But one way or another, it will be composting or compost selling and corn chaffing and baling. So we'll just get the millet finished. I've got a worker doing a contract actually over on field 11, which we've done before, but it was sort of the next nearest cultivation that needed doing. There's another couple gradually as we go back up towards the store, so if they're still available, I'll do those next, and we'll see how that goes. Other than that, to be honest, the forage harvester with all of its accoutrements is sitting ready and waiting by the field. I've got the truck over there obviously ready and waiting to sell the millet when we're done, and actually I've also leased, and it's sitting at the store, a nice big chunky trailer for us to sell our milk. So, you know, things are lined up. We're literally just waiting for the compost at this point in time. I could start the corn baling in this episode. I just can't want that to be the theme of the next episode. That and selling the compost, which I was kind of hoping we might get to do some of in this episode. But we'll get this done, and we'll see how much time we've got left in the video and whether the compost is ready, and we'll take it from there. Yeah, quite satisfying actually doing this harvest. I like this field. Worker did miss a little strip. I hadn't quite got the shape right, but it took me a second just to do that. Obviously I'm doing this at a slightly different angle to the rest of the field, but it's fine. If I decided not to do all of it, I could have had a worker come from the other way and run the angle to match the rest of the field, but you know what? there's not that much left. I think we'll get it all into the combine just without needing to empty again, so there's really no issues with me just cracking on with this. And yeah, very satisfying. I'm quite relaxed. I've done a lot of running around over the last few days. There's been a lot of odd jobs to finish off, but actually to extend it to another video just gives me that time to enjoy it a little bit more, right? I mean, I enjoy it anyway, but just it's more relaxed if I'm not dashing around trying to do a million jobs, which is a fitting way to end the series. It's been a bit crazy for a few episodes now, trying to get a lot done. Partly, of course, because there's been a lot of repetitive work, so I've stretched them over to a day. It means I have to keep a much closer eye on time and, you know, what jobs need doing when and all that sort of stuff. But now we're nearly there. We can take the foot off the gas a little bit. Though actually, of course, at this point, I can't take my foot off the gas because then the combine would stop, kind of like that. Only metaphorically speaking, but I normally keep my foot off the gas a little bit there so I didn't spin around too far. There we go. Right, last little strip, final actual harvest, as opposed to chaffing, which I know is a harvest, but you know, a harvest with a harvester, with a combine. On Riverside Farms, and perfectly right at the entrance to the field. Oh, by the way, money's gone up. I sold field 12, so that's the two big fields now, both sold. I suppose technically I could sell this field now as well, but let's just get unloaded. I'll just go grab the truck. So there we go, not quite the 60,000 or so litres that I predicted, but actually we're not that far off, heck of a lot closer than we were with the sorghum. So, prices. The farm shop, 685 is a good price and pretty easy to get to from here. Actually, you know what, Titch's Agri, 617, that's not bad. Let's go do that then. Actually, I think I've left the combine running. Let's not do that. Titch's Agri ahoy. So I decided to take a slightly unorthodox route because we haven't been through here before. This is just grass fields, so it's fine. We can drive through. It's just grass. It's okay. I've got permission. It's all right. But here is a really cool bridge we haven't been across, so I figured it was time. Ooh, will we fit? It's going to be bumpy. There we go. Yeah, I noticed it earlier and thought, actually, you know what? We've never driven across that, so I've managed to get it into my trip to Titch's Agri, which is actually just off the corner of this track, just up here. So it's a slightly shorter route as well. I just stopped to open the gates, and that was all right. I mean, I'm going to get a lot for this, what? 35, 40 grand. 35, more like, I think, closer to. But you know, it was fun. I actually enjoyed trying out our new field. Oh, I missed that. All right, fair enough. Bit of a squeeze, bounce off the hedge. Try not to kill too many pedestrians. Excellent. Probably safer in the cab, to be honest. Here we are, Titch's Agri. Let's see how much we get. And then I guess, well, we'll just very quickly nip back down to the biogas plant, see how the compost is doing, but I think that will be us for the day. one last trip to Titch's Agri. I suppose we've got potatoes to sell actually. Oh, we've got potatoes to sell as well, haven't we? I'll get that sorted for the next video. There we go. Millet at Titch's Agri. Whenever you're ready. Okay. 35 grand. I wasn't far off. Right, let's head down to the biogas plant and see how things are going. Well, there we go. We are poised on the edge. It has advanced 1% in about the last hour, but I don't know how long it was at 98% before that. So yeah, what happens next is very much going to depend on how long that last percentage point takes to turn over. I will, in the meantime, sell our new field that we've just cut. I'll sell the combine, just do a bit of checking through and seeing what else we've got that probably we don't need anymore, sell any more equipment that we no longer need, and yeah, either later this afternoon, or if I feel that's cutting it too fine, tomorrow morning, I'll see you here again, back on Riverside Farms for the final time. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, likes and subscriptions are very much appreciated. Come on, if I walk up and down it, maybe it'll compost quicker. No, probably not. Yeah, likes, subscriptions are very much appreciated. And yeah, please share. Please don't forget to hit the bell notification, all that kind of jazz. But no matter what you do take care of yourselves. And, well, I'll see you next time for the final Riverside Farms. See you then. Bye for now.